Hello friends, this video on Ray Optics Part 21 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till Part 20 before going ahead with Part 21. Now that we have learnt about the phenomenon of refraction, it is time to study about a new phenomenon that is called total internal reflection. This is also a very important phenomenon of light, and once we go through this total internal reflection, then we can combine the effects of refraction and total internal reflection, and we can explain many important natural phenomena. So what do you think can be total internal reflection? Well, normally what happens is that when a ray of light strikes a boundary, it is partly reflected and partly refracted. Okay, so normally this happens. Let us suppose if this is the boundary, this is medium 1 and this is medium 2, this is the normal of the medium. Let us suppose this is a ray of light, this is the incident ray making an angle I with the normal. So what happens when it reaches a boundary, a portion of it gets reflected, some portion of the light cannot cross the medium, so they get reflected. So this is angle of reflection. The remaining portion gets refracted and it bends in this way. So this is the angle of refraction. So this is what happens under normal situations. In most of the cases, this is what happens. Neither the entire portion of the incident ray gets refracted, nor the entire portion of the incident ray gets reflected. Some portion gets reflected and the remaining portion gets refracted, right? Total internal reflection is the phenomenon when there is no refraction. The entire incident ray gets reflected. When all the incident ray, that is why the name is total reflection, total internal reflection. That means there is nothing other than reflection. So in total internal reflection, all portion is reflected. So all reflected and none refracted. So there will be no refraction taking place, only reflection. So now the question is, when would this happen? Because as I just now said, most of the time it will be like some of the part will be reflected and the remaining part will be refracted. And that too we are not sure how much part will be reflected and how much part will be refracted. So how do we know that under which situation it will happen that the entire incident ray will get reflected and it will not be refracted at all? So let us try to find out the conditions under which total internal reflection will take place. So the conditions are, the first condition is when light travels from a denser medium to a rarer medium. Okay, so this is one condition. If light travels from a denser medium to rarer medium, in that case there is a possibility that total internal reflection can take place. How is it so? So let us try to understand this. Let us suppose these are the two medium 1, medium 2. This is a denser medium and this is a rarer medium. So in this case, what will happen? Let us suppose if this is my incident ray making an angle of incidence I. When a ray of light moves from a denser medium to rarer medium, it moves away from the normal, right? So this would be the angle of refraction, right? So it moved away from the normal. Right now we are denoting refraction as R dash. Okay. Now, what did I say? I told total internal reflection will take place only when there is no refraction at all. The entire thing should get reflected. So when will that happen? If we keep increasing angle of incidence, what will happen? Let us suppose if I increase this angle of incidence, then what will happen? Something like this. Say this is the normal. Now I increased the angle of incidence. So this angle has increased now. So again it will try to move away from the normal. So this angle is R dash. So this R dash also increased. So this was my first case. This is A. This is my second case, that is B. Now let us suppose if I further increase the angle of incidence. Let us suppose if I increased the angle of incidence like this. Now what will happen? This refracted ray will merge with this line. So the angle of refraction will become 90 degree. Right? Now if I increase the angle of incidence even beyond this angle, in that case what will happen? Let us suppose if I increase this angle of incidence even beyond this value, in that case this R dash will become greater than 90 degree. That means that is no more refraction, that is reflection, right? So if we increase the angle of incidence even beyond that, so now it has to move even beyond this, so it will move somewhat like this. So this is what? This is reflection. Light falls on a surface and it bounces back from the surface. So this is total internal reflection. So that means total internal reflection will occur firstly when the light travels from a denser medium to rarer medium. That is the first condition. What is the second condition? When the angle of incidence is greater than this angle of incidence. Right? Because when the angle of incidence was lesser, that time refraction was taking place. But when the angle of incidence becomes very large means what is the limiting factor? Beyond what total internal reflection will take place? When the angle of incidence is greater than the value of angle of incidence for which the angle of refraction is 90 degree. So in figure C, we see that the angle of refraction is 90 degree. So that means, what do we see? So we saw that the angle of incidence should correspond to angle of refraction equal to 90 degree. And this angle is known as the critical angle. So that means angle of incidence should be greater than critical angle. Right? The figure C here. So the scenario C corresponds to the critical angle. Because in scenario C, the angle of incidence is such that the angle of refraction is equal to 90 degree. So when the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle and the light is traveling from a denser medium to rarer medium, in that case total internal reflection takes place. So what is total internal reflection? Total internal reflection is a phenomenon when all the incident ray gets totally reflected and there is no refraction. Total internal reflection takes place under two conditions. The first condition is that light should travel from a denser medium to a rarer medium. And the second condition is that the angle of incidence should be greater than the critical angle. Right? And what is critical angle? Critical angle is that angle of incidence for which the angle of refraction is equal to 90 degree. So I hope I am able to explain you total internal reflection. Now let us try to define total internal reflection. Till now I was explaining you. I think I was able to explain, right? If not, you please go back to the last two slides again and review it. So total internal reflection is an optical phenomenon observed when a ray of light traveling from denser to rarer medium strikes the boundary at an angle greater than the critical angle. So these are the two important conditions: denser to rarer medium and angle of incidence greater than the critical angle. So these two things together define the total internal reflection. Now this total internal reflection has got very useful applications which are extremely helpful to us. So we will see how does this phenomenon of total internal reflection help us. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.